Welcome to Cover Lines. I'm your host, Brian B.Dot Miller, and today's cover star is a Detroit player with new music and a city on his back. Please welcome Boldy James. Boldy.
What up, though?
Where we at with it?
Where we at?
We're in New York. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Now, this is the last stop on the U.S. tour. How has life been on the road?
It's been smooth, we started off, it was me, my sister Mafia Double D, my brother Taj Mahal, from Detroit, the Detroit Taj Mahal.
Mm-hmm.
And he went back to the crib after the Madison show.
Okay.
After the Colorado show, rather. And then me and Diddy, me and Double, we been pushing through the last 3 cities on our own. It's the final stop, New York,
Absolutely.
I've been smooth though, smooth sailing, no real trips and spills, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Being that this is the final date, who's showing up tonight? Are we getting Jam Master Jay? We getting Brick James? Are we getting Moochie?
I don't know if I got any of them on the track list. I try to do the records that I know for a fact I ain't gonna drop the ball on, because I've been making so much music for so long and I smoke so much weed. Plus I'm like a single dad artist,
Yeah.
So a lot of I been to smoke some of my lyrics out my head. I done cuss one of my children out and forgot one of my dopest bars that, to a song that somebody will want to see me perform or something. But the track list that I got, it's like an hour and 10 minutes, but I know all the records kind of like the back of my hand. So
right.
them the ones I like to perform.
And you embody all those personalities in one.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I got to it, pieces of a man,
Word up. Do you have a favorite city to perform in?
I would be fake and say New York just because I'm here. But no, Chicago, my home away from home, man. It's crazy to hear, as crazy as Chicago is. It's like damn near like twin cities. How you say Buffalo, twin cities with Detroit?
Yeah.
If that's the case, then we got like a triplet effect going on, because you gotta throw Chicago in there too, like minus the gang banging, pretty much so, but like all the rest of that shit, like it remind me a lot of the crib.
Chicago got the most concretures?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Sister tell you, I get so much love and respect out of Chicago. It's almost unreal. Like it kind of made me feel some way about the guys at the crib.
I was surprised to see there wasn't no Detroit dates this time.
It'd be a reason for that sometime. Home is home.
Yeah.
I don't really like pissing in my own pool or, you know what I'm saying, eating where I shit no way, so.
Right. Gotta let everybody get a piece, man. Now, 2025, we're halfway into the year, man. It's been mad productive for you so far. Like last December, you tweeted, in preparation to having the biggest year of my career, I got to speak that into existence. What do you think you're doing differently this year to achieve that?
Not sitting on the music. I've actually been putting the music out so that it doesn't get dated.
Right.
Because a lot of guys got label situations, and when they make good records, the label try to hold on to them and find like some type of way they can market and, you know what I'm saying, put the record out on their own time, and a lot of times the record get dated. And without me being signed, I just took advantage of like the workload that I got and the stash and the catalog, just been dropping the music. And, another thing, like since I've been back catching my burn, a lot of dudes that had like some of those projects that we just had on the back burner, they've been rushing to put a couple of them out too, just to try to catch the wave of the burn. You know what I'm saying?
And so far this year, you released 7 projects. Was that the goal to like just drop a slew of albums this year?
It's not really on purpose. It's just like, I don't look at it how people receiving it. You know what I mean? I'm on some No Limit Master P type shit. Just put the music out and let the people be the judge of that. You know what I mean? Because it just seemed like niggas can't drop. And fans be wanting to hear new music all the time from some of their favorite artists. And, these label situations, it doesn't allow the artists to be able to put the music out as they see fit. And I just be showing like the world, that's not something I'm going through.
Right. So how do you feel, like you're one of the most prolific names in rap, right? How do you respond to criticism that Boldy James drops too much music?
I don't. You know, because a lot of people are being very receptive to what I'm putting out. So
Mm,
you can't worry about the couple few that's, with the nays. You got to worry about, the majority rule that's with the yays. And
right.
that's what I be on, man. I be pushing towards like the positive envelope. I ain't really like, cause I grew up in all that negativity and all that, so that ain't what I really cater towards. I try to like keep my mind more like on a positive note these days, cause I'm raising kids, so I
Mm,
can't always have my mind in the gutter, and like that distract me more so than anything. And if you notice, like I might be having one of the biggest years of my career, but I also just shook back from a crazy accident,
yeah.
so my health more important than all this money and this fame and everything that come with that. So I be more focused on that. I'd rather swap all this I got going on to feel exactly how I felt or, close to that before my accident. Cause this was a hard fight getting back to at least where I'm at. And I
Hmm.
ain't even 100% yet, but you know,
Yeah.
we making major progress with it though. But like I say, like I'm probably it bothers people how unbothered I am about a lot of stuff. Like I go through this with in relationships, I go through this with friendships, and you can't read people's minds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And people expect you to read their minds a lot, and I be trying to iron their own kinks out. I mean, I be trying to iron my own kinks out with my life.
Hmm.
So you know, um, I guess I'm famous for not caring about being famous because
Right.
I always had a pretty bitch in a jump shot. So this ain't nothing new to me. You know what I'm saying?
Can't go wrong with that. I think out of the batch of the albums, Token of Appreciation is my favorite. Like, to me, it felt very Mobb Deep inspired. Like, it's almost if you channeled Prodigy, like on the songs, Fail Proof, Thank God, UPS,
They always
Lopsided.
they always compare me to P. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? One love to the OG, long live. Bandana P, you know what I'm saying? Prodigy, Mobb Deep, Infamous, all that, you know what I'm saying? It's just, um, I do what the beats tell me to do.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? And I do what I get paid for. It's a lot of stuff I listen to you wouldn't even believe I'm a fan of.
mm,
But when it come to like me doing what I do, I know I got my own niche with it. You know what I'm saying? I got my own creative edge with what I do. So I just try to be the best me in what I do and don't pay too much of that attention to distract me too much from staying on my ding with that. You know what I
mm.
mean?
Yeah. I love the moment on Lopsided had like little broken language flow, Smooth the Hustler, Trigger the Gambler. I thought that was really neat.
Yeah.
Also, I liked on Murder During Traffic, the ode that you had to Skinny Me,
Yeah.
AR Abs affiliate.
Yes, sir.
Why was that important to have that song?
Cause I always been just one of the skinniest guys out the pack.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that be the one you underestimate.
Mm.
But I was just letting the world know, like, don't get all this fame, this glitz, and this glamour confused with me being that same skinny nigga that'll bounce out. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's all.
Yeah. Skinny Me. I seen him do it.
Free Ab, free
Free.
skinny me.
Yes, sir. But for the people that, do have that criticism about you releasing so much music, they're going to be even more upset because you just announced the new album, Late to My Own Funeral, with producer Nicholas Craven. That's dropping July 11th. You said that phrase on the Benny the Butcher feature, Duffel Bags, Hottie's Revenge, and on Flag on the Play, uh, Late to My Own Funeral. Like, what's the significance of that title to you?
My grandma used to always, like, cause I'm always I didn't grow up like with everything. Like I wasn't like a spoiled rotten kid,
Mm,
but it was certain things that I was spoiled about. You know what I'm saying? I never had to cook, never had to like really do no chores unless I'm cleaning up behind myself or whatnot. But it's just certain freedoms I always had. But my grandma, whenever she would be getting ready for something or whenever she would be like, waiting on me to get myself together so we could run out the door.
mm.
That's just something she used to say to me all the time, like, boy, you gonna be late to your own funeral, and just like Magnolia LaFleur, that's my
Yeah.
great-grandmother's name.
Oh, really?
That's
Okay.
my father's grandmother's name. That's my grandma who just passed, that's her mom.
Mm.
So, I always thought that was an ill name, so it was this, picture of my grandma, and they decided to put it on, like, a old school, like, stamp, like a
Yeah.
Mississippi style, like, stamp,
Mm-hmm.
and I just, it was just, like, in dedication of my grandma to me, but it made my people proud too to just see you know, that I care that I care that much about our family lineage to, immortalize grandma. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
that's dope. I've noticed that you referenced the title of your next album on unrelated songs. Like it's almost like an Easter egg. Is that deliberate? Because, like, for instance, you mentioned penalty of leadership on the song, phone bill, Mr. 1008, Cartier.
Cause it all tie into each other. Like my music is not. I don't write my music for you guys to particularly feel the music before I do. It's solely therapeutic because I
Mm,
don't talk to people much about what I go through
yeah.
in real life. So that's my way of like being more expressive, getting that shit out my system, so I don't got to dwell on it a lot. It's like Dear Diary.
Mm,
So if I make mention to something, it's not on purpose that you know it um it popped back up in like a album title or
right.
you might have heard it in this song. That what it all stemmed from is just like all this shit is tied to each other. I'm not writing this just trying to say some cool shit. I'm just living in my truths and I care enough about the music to word it correctly.
Mm, gotcha. That makes sense. And I also saw that you posted Boldy and Alchemist coming soon. You and Alchemist are back in the lab. You've done 5 albums with him, and most of your celebrated work, Bo Jackson and The Price of Tea in China. What is it about him that makes him such a great go-to collaborator?
That's the foundation of Boldy James and the Concreters for the most part. Musically, on the scale that y'all first started receiving me as being a professional,
Yeah.
that's how it started. I got a whole lot of underground works with Chuck,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying,
We'll
with
talk
Chuck
about that.
English. Shout out Cuzzo, my little brother Mikey Rocks, um, my other little brother Shorty K. What up, gang?
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of even me and Mafia Double D, we got so many records that we was working on just trying to get to this point where the music is being heard and received in the fashion it's being received in. So now it's like I'm just trying to, do my best Boldy James rendition at this point. I'm not really like, catering and feeding it to like what particularly like the fans want or, and
Mm-hmm.
Al, that's just how this all started. So it's almost like, the reset button every time. Cause he don't really have much to say about all this music I put out. He just always tell me like, yo, me and your shit, like our shit go up a little
Mm,
different. So always be mindful of that. Like a lot of this wave other people is catching off you being hot is from stuff me and you
mm,
started. You know what I mean? So just always be mindful. Like you gotta always come back and re-up with the chemist cause we
mm.
make the dopest shit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And that's just my brother. Like it's special. Like that's you know what I'm saying. He in my kids' life all that. Like Al's special nigga, man. He can't see me in the hospital. Flew all
Right.
the way from where he was from. I mean, from where he was at.
Mm-hmm.
There's niggas that live down the street from me my whole life ain't come see me in the hospital. You know what I'm
Damn.
saying?
Yeah, but shout out to Al and shout out to your cousin Chuck English of the Cool Kids for connecting y'all together. Do you have a favorite track that you and Al have made? There's so many, man.
Phone bill.
Phone bill, okay.
Because it was one of the most personable records. You know what I'm saying? It was like some time prior to this, like nigga phone was just off. Now it's like I got 6 cell phones.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
yeah. I think First 48 freestyle comes to mind. What's the word on the debut joint that you did? Surf and Turf,
Mhm.
Fake Flower. There's so many, man. You could go on all day about that.
Shout out Vince Staples, my
Yeah,
brother.
he definitely killed that. That verse. And Alchemist isn't the only guy that you've extended your work to. You got guys that you work with, Nicholas Craven, Badman, Harry Fraud, V Dawn, Chuck Strangers, Future Wave, Chan Hayes, who the hell is Carlo, Rich Gaines, Kunz. I don't want to leave anybody out.
Don't
How,
please.
how do you decide on who you're gonna work with?
I hear the beats. Okay, first, sometimes we just like have a mutual agreement to just work.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's a proposition. It's a prop Joe that get put on the table. And if it makes some sense to me within like the respects of what I got going on musically, and then I can hear some type of way we can mesh the sound and you know what I'm saying, come up with something dope collectively, then that's why I try to keep it one producer. So
Mm.
it ain't all over the place and we ain't gotta worry about, you know, the splits and the paperwork and all that shit
Ah,
being all over the place. So it's a little simpler to work with one artist,
makes sense.
one producer. And then you know, I hear the beats, and if I can hear me on the beat and I don't gotta force it too much,
Hmm.
I pretty much can rap on anything. We all know that. So, you know, if I can hear Boldy on it, then you know it's pretty much a go. I
Right.
green light it.
Yeah, I thought you and the producer Jay Versace were an unlikely pairing because he's more known for like his social media personality, but his beats are really soulful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, and I saw that he said that he hated the Versace 2 tape that you guys did together because it could have been better.
But first of all, we only got the Versace tape.
Right.
Like Wes put that together, and that was Wes genius. Wes heard that and knew my flow, them beats would, you know, be special. Like that's just Wes. Wes is a visionary with like fashion, music, street life, family shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's my real brother. That's one of the other than Al, like, you know, I might be like closer to him out of all the people I met in this game.
Mm.
And Jay Versace actually wanted to re-up and do the Versace tape too.
Yeah.
But I mean, we gonna get it done. But
Okay.
see, I'm just loyal about the fort because I'd rather West to put for West to put that together too because he put together the first one and he just,
Mm.
you know, he understand this a little different than I do. You know, I'm going into this just as an artist solely when I'm making music. West, you know, he be thinking for the whole team when he make music.
Yeah,
You know,
he's like Phil Jackson, the whole
for
situation.
sure. You know, so Jay Versace didn't particularly care for how West didn't let him sequence the beats and all that, but that's not how West heard it. You
Mm.
feel me? He wanted it to have that raw, rough edge. He didn't want all the beats to be chopped on, mixed up, all crazy. He just wanted it to sound exactly how he heard it and exactly how he seen me over it. You know what I
Mm.
mean? So it's me and Jay, we supposed to put it together, but
Okay.
you know I'm gonna run that by Big
S-
Brody first.
So as we approach the 5-year anniversary of that project, how do you feel about it now?
I love it. You
Still
know what I'm
love
saying? I
it?
still perform records off of it. I love the Versace tape. It was one of my most slept on projects because it was so short and sweet, you know what I
Mm.
mean? And it was my Griselda introduction as
Yeah, it
well.
was. Right.
So, you know, other than me and Benny scraped the bowl record from the Price of Tea in China album, that was my Griselda introduction. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Right. Another producer you worked with is the Conductor. He's having a hell of a year. And you collaborated with him last year on Across the Tracks. I read that you said it's the best music you made in the last 15 years. What do you think makes that project so special?
My son was on it, my sister was on it. I love making records with my sister Mafia Double because they just be special records to me because
Mm.
I just know the truth and that's what I base all this off of. You know, like it's all smoke and mirrors and fictitious to a lot of people and just arts and crafts. But with us, you know, this shit like real life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So my son was on the project. That made it special. Um, I got to work on the project with my cousin Marlon. He had just got out of jail from doing a long stint.
Mm.
So that was kind of special for us to try to build our bond back up.
Mm.
Um, and you know, the conductor, like he legendary producer. So I always wanted to work with him. It just was the time, and I had time to, you know, make the records and like take them serious enough for y'all to, you know, um, appreciate the project.
Word. And you mentioned real life. Real life got in the way, 2 years ago, January 2023, when you got into that near fatal car crash. Do you remember the details leading up to that crash?
Yes, I do.
What happened?
I was having the best day ever, actually.
Really?
Yeah, but then I started having some car trouble with my tire. So I went and got my tire fixed. It wasn't nothing but like some air situation. You know, those Benz tires, the rims, all that just be like so what's the word I'm looking for? It just be so particular
Mm.
with how you gotta go to the dealership and everybody can't necessarily fix the rim or they might not have the size tire. So I finally figured the tire out.
Mm.
And the my girlfriend who took my virginity, her oldest son, it's like my son.
Mm-hmm.
And he had been calling me for a couple days. And I don't really like spending my kids, meaning like I don't like just telling them anything, not showing up, but
Right.
I had something to do I was taking care of. So when I had got done working for those couple days, I'm like, damn, let me go get him. He been calling me. So I pulled up on him, go pick him up. I had him roll the weed up. We pull off. Probably was like gone from in front of his house for maybe 5 minutes, if
Okay.
that. And somebody jumped the lane on me,
Mm.
and I had a head-on collision.
Wow. Damn. And the next thing you remember, you waking up in the hospital?
I woke up, wasn't nothing moving but my eyeballs and my lips.
Wow. Was he okay?
Yeah, he was okay. Yeah, I bumped his head real bad, but he was okay.
Oh. You wearing a seatbelt too?
Yeah, we both had our
Oh,
seatbelts
okay.
on.
Wow. And I read that you said it was difficult because it was the first time in your life you ever felt real pain. Like what was hurting on you? Just your entire body?
Nah, this what I mean by that. When you break your neck, everything numbs out. So
Mm.
what I mean by me feeling real pain was internally because my nerves and like the outer portion of my body was kind of numbed out to the touch. My arms was challenged and my legs was challenged, so I was in vegetable mode for a minute, right? And they had to operate on my neck, but they had to operate on my neck and my back and put screws and rods in my neck and my back,
Mm.
but it numbed out. It deaded my whole arm out, even from it already being affected from the accident, because this one was having a little motion,
Yeah.
but this one was just dead to the world. So,
Wow.
so yeah, it was like it was just one of the most challenging situations I ever been through. And then once I stopped popping the pain meds, cause I had left the hospital, cause there was just too much going on in the hospital, and
Mm.
I've been locked up before, so I wasn't in jail. So I'm like, I'm not just about to be sitting in this room all day.
Right.
I can go buy the shit I need at the crib. I'm rich, so it was like I get the workout equipment, all that shit I need, and just go home.
Yeah.
So I stopped popping the pills and all the pain meds. So when I stopped popping the meds, everything that was trying to heal from the accident, now you can feel it.
Mm.
And my whole body felt like you ever slammed your finger in the car door?
Oh yeah.
My whole body felt like that.
Wow.
That's what I meant. Like I never felt pain before till my body actually started trying to heal from the accident.
How long did that pain last?
I still have it.
Wow.
But I'm immune to it because I wasn't popping pills.
Wow.
So maybe if I was like doped up all the time, it wouldn't have healed up as quick, and it still would have been a slower process on me adjusting to the pain aspect of it.
Wow. Did you ever think you were gonna walk again?
No.
Wow.
But I mean, I did when they told me that I wasn't possibly. Since know how stubborn I am, like I wasn't going for that shit. Like, but yeah, it was one time in the hospital where like I really broke down. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? And like start having like a real reality check. Like, damn, I'm really like, cause I never been through that before. See, I mean, no offense, like I don't even care how nobody take this, but I'm the kid that then put people through a few predicaments to where like I might have laughed at some shit that wasn't funny.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I might have used to smile upon like somebody being on the hospital bed,
Mm-hmm.
but now it was my turn. See what I'm saying? So I just was thanking God that did nobody, you know what I'm saying, fat me up, put me on a hospital bed in that manner. You know what I'm saying? It was
Mm.
kind of self-inflicted, so to
Right.
speak. So it was a little easier to accept and process. But yeah, it just was one of the most challenging situations I ever been through, and that was like real pain. Like I say, like it's like slamming your fingers in the door, but my whole body felt like that.
Right. And I read you had to use the walker and like do physical therapy like 3 hours every day.
Hmm.
Man, that's crazy. But How meaningful was it for when you got calls and texts from like a guy like Eminem reached out to you while you was in the hospital?
It mean the world to me now. It meant the world to me then, but it means so much more to me now because I can actually appreciate. I was too caught up in like what I was going through at the moment. You gotta remember, like I say, I'm a single dad, so
Mm-hmm.
my kids are affected by this too. Cause my son was too young to come to the hospital. They
Mm.
wouldn't let him come in the rehab I was in, and him and my daughter, you know that I'm in their life every day, so me missing, you know what I'm saying, for as long as I was in the hospital, that kind of like offset the course of like what our systematic order we got just in how I raised them and what they know to expect or what I expect out of them. You know
Mm.
what I mean? So it was definitely like fucking with the parenthood side of it. You know what I mean? But me and my family tight knit enough to where like I got a real support system, so they was helping me like keep everything tight knit. But I had to, tighten a few little
Right.
screws down as far as like how my son was processing it and what my daughter was going through mentally. Her like being like the older teenager I got.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it was, and I got a newborn too. That's 4 months.
Oh, congratulations, man. Staying busy and through it all, you still managed to put out an album during the recovery process, Penalty of Leadership. How the hell did you do that, Boldy? That's like a Kanye West moment.
I put out Indiana Jones too.
Oh, just be clear. During that same time.
But what was the album you was talking about?
Penalty of
Penalty of
Leadership.
Leadership. I made that after I got out the hospital. That was me not being able to write raps or type nothing in my phone. A couple punch records. I don't really like to make too many punch records, but I
Mm.
had to like. That was like one of my only freestyle albums.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I pretty much like penned everything, or everything else was pretty much premeditated. That was an album where I just had to like get off how I was feeling for real. I couldn't
Mm.
really scribble it.
So we say punch albums. What do you mean by that?
A lot of artists nowadays are punch artists, meaning like they go in the booth, they come up with some dope shit to say. If it makes sense, they leave it on the track, and then they try to come up with some shit to patch it in, but they not like writing it. It's like it's still not a freestyle because a freestyle is just what comes off the top of your head from that moment all the way through the track. That's a
Yeah.
freestyle. Whenever you gotta stop and go on it, you know what I mean? That's pretty much not too much different than you scribbling the record.
Mm.
But that's what I mean, like punch-in artists, you know what I'm saying? Like I had to say some shit. All right, okay, patch me back in. Okay,
Mm.
okay, now let me tie all that back in and make that make some sense.
Got it.
Like it's different. It's a different process, but that's more so like how the youngest record nowadays.
Now,
Nah, for
Boldy.
real, for real.
Yeah. Wait, before the accident, were you involved in a car chase too? Oh, we'll keep quiet about that.
Nah, yeah, and I'm one of the artists, seen it all, been through it all for real. I'm just my pops was a cop growing up, so I'm
Hmm.
very respectful. Like it's certain shit he just didn't tolerate out of me.
Gotcha.
And you can see it in my makeup and my mannerism, but I still grew up in a neighborhood to where like when your kid turn that corner, you
Hmm.
can't always supervise him and monitor, what's going on in his day to day when you got to go to work and feed him.
Mm.
So everybody wasn't as fortunate as me to have a father that actually cared about him and loved him to try to keep him out of trouble. Most of my friends didn't. Well, really, none of my friends had fathers. I didn't realize it till I got older that,
Mm.
me and my mama was going through something different when I was growing up, and most of my guys was going through something with their dads.
Yeah.
So it was backwards. You know what I'm saying? But you know,
You said you seen your father on his deathbed, but you never seen him cry.
first time I seen him cry
Mm.
was on his deathbed, and it wasn't even really like a tear. It just was. He just felt like he wasn't ready to leave us, and I just seen it in his face. Like my pops, one of the strongest guys I know. I seen him every day of my life until I ran away and started trying to take care of myself. But even after that, I'm saying like this is my pops I'm talking about.
Right.
I watch him get up every day, hold his head up, stick his chest out. You know what I'm saying? And head up, chest out every day. Let's do it. walk out the door, go get the money, come home, take care of us. We ain't feel nothing we wasn't supposed to feel. Behind him being our father on his end, at least.
Mm-hmm.
So like, that's where I get my style and grace is, from me being a parent. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's why my taste palette so particular. Like Pops was a unique, neat freak type of guy. You know what I'm saying? So it make even as much as like as raunchy or how rough around the edges people might think I am. Like Pops really got me like on a tight string. He had me on a tight string growing up. So I know right from wrong for sure.
Right.
Feel me?
And you have to talk about your strained relationship with your mom. You were her firstborn, right?
Mm-hmm.
You think she showed favoritism to the other siblings?
Wasn't that I didn't realize like how mischievous I was as a kid, and sometimes like that take a toll because my parents wasn't together
Mm-hmm.
as far as I could remember.
Right.
They was together when I couldn't remember what was going on. Once I start, making some sense of what was going on myself, they wasn't together. My little sister, she came out of that too, so I don't think she ever really remember her parents being together. But, yeah, me and her, that's my only full-blooded sibling, and then I got two other sisters that got different moms. But I was raised by my pops, so I don't like look at them as like steps and half siblings.
Right.
Like we just family.
We all family.
I got 3 blood sisters.
Yeah. You say your mom used to tell you shit and you wasn't trying to hear it though, right?
No, it wasn't that. Like, to be real, like since we popping in right now, shit, my mom's put me out when I was little. She had like a nervous breakdown, and it was something I said to her that triggered her.
Mm.
And she just told me I had to get the fuck out. Live with my daddy. Like I was like 7, 8 years old.
Wow.
And hearing your mama tell you some shit like that, just
That
fuck
young.
with your head. Yeah,
Wow.
just like, like making not trust too much, cause this my mother. So if it's like if she feel like she'd give up on a nigga or she don't care to keep her composure and keep it together for me, then I feel like ain't nobody really got my back or my best interest at heart. That's how I grew up. So I knew I had pops though. So that
Yeah.
always gave me a sense of security. But a lot of that other shit, you know what I'm saying, for sure used to bother me. And, you know, I guess I was affected in different ways, and people who knew me knew I was affected by what I was going through, but I ain't the type of person burden people with my problems.
Right. Yeah, I remember you talked about that on Met Me. You said, moms gave up on you early. She called it quits. But you also have this record, Mommy Dearest, dedicated to her. Did she ever get a chance to hear that?
Yeah, my mama heard a lot of my songs. You know
Oh,
what I'm
word?
saying? My mama know me better than a lot of people. She tell people all the time, like, you can't tell me about my son. You know what I mean? Because she just know, like, how driven I am and how stubborn I am, too. So how I went about this, we was talking about this earlier, like, how I went about it, I can't really, like, gloat or brag or, you know what I'm saying, be real boastful about, like, how I came up. But, like, my guilty pleasure come from, my little sinister snarl and all that just come from me knowing how I came up and how I grew up, and my son, he be paying attention to the wrong things because he hears stories and like he's seen a lot of shit he probably wasn't supposed to see, but I'm trying to switch the narrative though, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
How I raised him like on some do as I say, not as I do, but when they see so much, they don't want to hear that shit.
Right. How'd you end up going to jail on your mom's birthday though, Boldy?
I had a high-speed chase in the suburb I was living in my Mercedes. I had to jump out the car and run from the police and leave the car and everything that was in the car.
Oh man.
Um, I ran they knew who was driving the car, so the warrant got issued. I had a probation violation for like a simple possession charge, but it was in a racist county. So when they caught up with me for the fleeing and eluding warrant, I lied about my name, so I got another charge for that.
Oh man.
And then I got sent to the racist county on the probation violation. But I had a case in Wayne County, which is the county that, Detroit is considered like, the county jail, all that. So these counties don't really get along. So the racist county wanted to get their time out of me for the probation violation before they sent me back to Wayne County. And the day I had to go to court was on my mother's birthday.
Oh, damn.
So I go to court and I'm thinking that he was gonna grant me like another 2-week period to get my affairs in order, and he just locked me up.
Damn. How long was you locked up for?
And he sends me the 4 months.
Damn.
They gave me credit for a month, and I had to pay a certain amount of money.
Mm.
So I had to do 3 months and some change. But the crazy part about it was because I had a trumped up charge in another county, they made me do it in the super max side of the jail. So I was on the maximum supervision 10-man side. So, you know, all the dudes, murders and robberies, I had an orange jumpsuit on in there with them.
Damn.
That's what they classified me as, like a high profile prisoner or whatnot.
Right. Well, you definitely are a product of Detroit, man. You talk about it all throughout the music, through and through. And just be specific. You're from the East Side, as you call it, Hell Block 227.
That's two different worlds.
It's two different worlds. Okay,
Yeah,
please.
Let me break it down to you. My pops from the West Side.
Okay.
My mother from the East Side.
Got it.
My granddad, my mother's pops is from the East Side. We stayed with my granddad when I was little. You know what I'm saying? On Belvedere. I grew up with my granddad and my mom on Belvedere with my great-grandma, my granddad, and my mom. And then my mom moved in a 2-family flat across the street from my granddad's crib on the street called Belvedere. That's where I grew up from scratch. That's the first block. That's where all my family from. You know what I'm saying? And then when moms put us out, we had to go live on the West Side with pops. So in my wonder years, like from 8 to like 13, you know, I learned how to dress and chase chicks and, you know what I'm saying? Like when you first started learning how to hustle, all that, I was on the West Side.
Okay.
But I also used to get into a lot of trouble on the West Side. So I burnt a lot of bridges on the West Side, but all my family on the East Side. So whenever stuff got too tricky on the West, I was always able to go
Gotcha.
to the East Side with my family and my friends where it wasn't no bad blood. It was just all love. And then you grow up and everybody chasing after, you know, we got certain common interests. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, now we hustling and we rubbing shoulders on this, that, this, and the third, and that's how that all came about. Like,
Got
the
it.
original is East Side for sure, like, where all my real lineage and my real bloodline come from, yeah, for sure.
So 227, is that a homage to the zip code?
Nah, that's a numeric expression for kind creatures. That's like, that's gang shit for real.
Got it.
I just make it sound cool.
Right. Who's 227 Maine? Ballmaine, because you mentioned him a lot throughout your music.
Somebody I caught a case with when I was 21. We caught a triple murder case. And I wiggled out of it, you know what I'm saying? But he ended up having to take what came his way, and it came with a double life sentence. And then Nick Bruno, my brother, shout out Bruno, his little brother Russell just got killed a couple years ago, but he caught that case with us too, and he got 10 years out of it. And I'm the only reason the whole gang ain't get fried, me and Bruno. Like, I had to stand on some shit that wasn't even, you know, my wrongdoings, but, you know, I run with the gang, so I had to stand on that. And Bruno, you know, helped quarterback us through that shit because he had been locked up prior to for 6-7 years before that.
Right.
So what ended up happening was I ended up beating my charges. And we was at Summer Jam. I think it was that with Didi Erykah Badu. At the Summer Jam with the judge and Erykah Badu, the judge who tried to lock me up. Remember I told you Judge Craig Strong was back there with Erykah? I'm at a Summer Jam event with Nas. And you know, this was around the Mass Appeal time.
Okay.
And I took my mom, you know, to meet Nas. She wanted to meet Nas. I had never took my mom to like a show with me since I've been doing it on a professional scale. So I took her down there to Shane Park with me to go bump into Nas and Erykah. It was my first time meeting Erykah Badu too.
Okay.
And she tapped me. She said, "Ain't that the judge yet?" And I looked up and I was like, "Damn, that is him." And we was all talking, and Nas and Erykah was right there, my mom right there. And I asked the judge, I said, "You remember me?" He said, "Face look familiar." put a name to it. I might forget a face, but I never forget a name.
Mm.
I say my name, James Jones. I told him the trial matter and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I gave the last names of my co-defendants and shit. And he was like, I do remember that. He was like, so how have you been? I was like, I've been okay, you know. He was like, how did that work out for you? I was like, if you don't remember, you know, I beat the case. He said, never say you beat the case. Always say justice was served. So I'm like, so he said, well, it look like you're doing good. You in good company. And Nas heard me and him talking about, you know, the triple murder trial matter and all this. And he was just looking at me like, damn, like I would have never expected that out of Boldy. You know what I'm saying? But can't let the smooth taste fool you. Like I said, I'm still from where I'm from, and y'all know the reputation of my city, and I embody all that. Like the guys that tell you, like one of the most humble guys in the neighborhood, but I done stood on stilts with this shit all my life, though. You know what I mean?
That's a fact. You said you're from Detroit, the real Detroit, not the townhomes. We ain't nothing like them boys from the brownstones. As an outsider, what does that mean?
They compare us to a lot of people that we not nothing like. You know what I mean? Like I hear people always say, "Oh yeah, they say this like Detroit, this like Detroit," and it's like, nah. Like, I ain't from the townhomes. You know what I'm saying? I'm from, like, the real inner city workings of this. And then, you know, it's like, we just ain't nothing like the boys from the brownstones. You feel me? Like, that's a different group of niggas. You know what I'm saying? They pop it like they this, but we really that. And we don't even pop that like, most of the shit these guys is running towards, I'm running from it. You feel me? Like, I don't want to be no fake hood nigga. I'm trying to grow out of this shit and be a businessman and the best father I can be and looked at something other than it's just a ghetto trophy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Detroit's definitely a rough place to live, man. I remember you talked about burglars stealing your Nintendo at Christmas. Did that really happen? People going?
The first time my pops, like I say, the last time I actually remember my parents like trying to fake a relationship for me for a Christmas, or we used to have this real little house on the street called Stopel. It was the smallest house on the block, almost like a little shack. It was like 2-bedroom, like little shack, 1 story. And my pops bought me a Nintendo. The Nintendos had first came out. And somebody broke in the crib and stole all my presents. And my pops, he couldn't afford to give me the Nintendo again, but he made me still make Christmas happen for me. And I was so young, it didn't matter, but I just remember that happening. See, I only speak of stuff that, like, when certain people hear it, they'll look at me like, damn, you remember that, or damn, you spoke on that, or damn, like they'll look at me like, damn, bro, you keeping it too real right now. That's all I know because I'm from Detroit, so like I said this in the song too, like they gonna call you on this shit if you capping. Like somebody from my city love to single somebody out that they know is living a fictional life behind that microphone. You feel me? Like they quick to do it. That's the first nigga they go because they feel like he a soft fake nigga and they standing on, you know, they belief system and all that. So they damn near be willing to, I mean, it's the pettiest shit in the world, but they damn near be willing to fall out with whoever about, you know, not being authentic.
Right. Detroit's definitely a real place, for sure. And you mentioned, you know, your father now. You emphasized that. You got 7 kids, right?
Let me break this down to you. My baby mom, I grew up with my whole life, my first baby mom.
Okay.
I knew her since birth. She was my auntie best friend. When I got a little older, me and her got to high school each other, right? She already had 4 children. But I knew her my whole life, so this didn't feel too out of place. It's like the kids was almost like my family.
Got it.
So we started messing around. We got caught up, had 2 kids. So I got 6 off the dribble. So even you thinking that I have 7, it's only because when I had my 2, I automatically had 6.
Got it.
And now I got, but really if you want to, like in totality, I got like 10 children that's really like in my life that I actually, you know what I'm saying, and you know, being grown about the whole situation, you know what I mean?
Right. And you had your daughter on Make It Work off your debut album.
That was my oldest stepdaughter.
That was your stepdaughter, okay.
That's Abigail. That's my daughter Gabrielle.
Mm.
Like even her to this day, Gabby is like 23 years old, and she can call me for anything. Like she grown, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? But that's still my little girl. You know what I mean?
And your son, was he on all Madden?
Yeah.
Okay. I got to make sure I get it right. That's on all the tracks.
Yeah.
And is that him on the cover? The same guy on the cover of Prisoner of Circumstances.
Yep.
Got it. Okay. Keeping it all in the family.
That's my oldest son. I have 2 biological sons. That's my namesake though. That's James Jones the 4th.
Yeah, you mentioned on one of the songs, Surf and Turf, that you felt like he didn't love you.
No, he felt like I didn't love him. Cause I run the street too much. Like, you know, you always get the questioning like, Pops, why you always gone? Like, it's like, you don't want to be with me? It's like, nigga, I gotta feed you. You know what I mean? Like, I take you in the fire with me too much, man. You ain't gonna be no good for nobody. Cause you should see him now. Just from being exposed to the shit he been exposed to, it's like, he already getting out of hand. I want to say something on here, but it ain't everybody business. I know my sister beating cuss me out for putting his business in the street, but yeah, he bad as fuck.
Oh, man. But did one of your sons get suspended from school for having too much money on him?
That's him.
That's him? Oh, he took a stack to homeroom or something?
Our kids are spoiled, man. It's no telling what one of the family members or one of they, you know, play uncles or one of the guys being did for them kids, man. They spoiled on another level. Like, the whole neighborhood love them. Like, he different, man.
How much money is too much money to get suspended from school? That's crazy.
Probably about $800-900.
Oh, man.
But that, yeah, kid.
Yeah, kid,
Take
right.
my cheese like that to school. I used to do shit like that, like, cause I was really selling drugs as a kid. So I would have like $500-600 in the lunchroom. And that's like, it probably ain't even an adult in the school with 500 cash on them at the time.
In the 90s too? That's crazy.
Nah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Now, speaking of money, do you owe Amanda Seales some bread, Boldy?
I'm glad you brought this up. Lord have mercy. So look.
So let me set it up. A year ago, she called you out on Shannon Sharp's show, and you took the audio.
Put it on the floor.
Yeah.
She's talking about $2,000 from a bond that she had to pay for me. Right? Should I tell the whole truth, D? Go ahead and put it out there. Nah, don't put it all the way out there. I could put a spin on it or put it out there. I ain't gonna do that because I ain't gonna throw nobody in the bus.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna throw you under the bus, so I ain't gonna put it out there. Boldy James. All right, look, so I had a situation. She sent sis the money to come look out for me on the situation I had. But this what ended up happening. This is the honest to God truth. So when the COVID BET Awards, whatever year that was, when everybody was quarantined and all this, you know, like somebody had got sick on her production team with the COVID. I had been quarantining with her because I had been over in the crib with her. You know, we was messing around, right?
Yeah.
So I had a play I had to make. It was for like $28,000. I had some guys coming in the city from where I was from. They didn't know nobody. They knew I knew a lot of people. I could point them in the right direction. They came out, you know, because they trust my business. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to make this happen because I needed the money. She tell me she needs me to help her set all the cameras up, the microphone, wiring from downstairs, some van they had. You know how these production teams work.
Yeah.
I had to single-handedly do all this, right? They told me that the payout on it was $10,000. So I looked at her. I say, damn, I'm about to take a $16,000 hit. If I don't go make this play, they're going to go bump into somebody else, and somebody else going to make this money, right? But she was like my chick at the time. Well, not, yeah, she was like my chick at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, relationship.
We was trying to figure it out.
All right, complicated.
Because I'm a street nigga, so that was bothering her, like, because I had just caught a case too, so I was fighting back, like, trying to get on my feet, but she don't know, like, I'm a cold nigga for real. Like, I mean, she could feel it, that's why she was fucking with me, but I didn't meet her on my upscale. I met her on my downslide. I'm like, damn, I'm about to take a $16,000 hit. I'm like, it's my bitch. She rich. This ain't gonna be my first play. Somebody else would call or something would fall out the sky. Fuck it, I did it. 10,000. Said you gonna give me 10,000 for doing it. I'm like, fuck it, whatever. But the thing was, I thought it was a 1-day job, and it carried on into 3 days.
Oh.
And me and her are not compatible enough for us to be around each other 3 days straight. Like, I gotta go to Al crib, get a break for a minute. You know, she come give me or call me, send me an Uber, Al send me a car over there. Like, it was shit like that, you know what I mean? Because I ain't even have I got a Benz in Cali now, but I didn't have a whip in Cali at the time. So, 3 days, like I say. So, we bickering, bitching back and forth. Third day go past. We get into it. I leave.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, the way we got into it, I really didn't even like want to conversate with her no more, right? So, we had did something with Khalees and Michael Rappaport. It was like some cooking show. And she asked me to go on the cooking show with her. And I don't know why I agreed to it, but I did, you know what I'm saying? She told me she'd pay me to do it. So I was like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? She gave me like 7,000 cash after I did it. And it's my bitch, so I ain't care what she gave me. I wasn't even tripping on
You
the
ain't
money
tripping.
for real. So, now fast forward. So, I've been over here 3 days. I leave. We get into it. I don't want to kick it with her for real, because y'all know she obnoxious as fuck. Everybody know this. The world know this. So I try to reach out to the people that's supposed to pay me the 10,000.
Oh,
And they tell me, no, it was 10,000 a day. It wasn't 10,000. It wasn't 10,000 for me just doing it.
Yeah.
It was 10,000 per day.
Right.
Or close to it, somewhere up in there, right? So I never got any of that money.
Whoa.
Because she never followed up to help me get the cheese. And you know, I'm a street nigga. I don't know who to call for production. I don't know how to chase a BET nigga down or none of that. So I just chalked it. You know, it was just better for me to just leave the whole situation alone. Right? So what ended up happening is, I guess she thought I was some slouch sock ass nigga that wasn't gonna get back on my team and back on my A game or something. So when she seen me, I guess like making noise about this, that, this, and the third, or, you know, flashing money or something on the internet or some shit like that just for some content, or just cause I'm over there with the guys and we just ghetto as fuck in real life and it's just what we do. Like this some, you know, some hood shit, you feel me? She had reached out one day and like commenting on like, well, you flashing all this money, this, that, like, you can give me my money. And I'm like, man, I never got paid for the one shit. We're like, what is we talking about? You be talking about $2,000, bitch, you rich. You act like when I wasn't down, I ain't buy you a couple Gucci bags and all type of shit. Like people just petty as fuck, bro. You know what I'm saying? It just seemed like she just wanted something to say. She didn't have to be boisterous or go public about no shit like that. Like, I ain't fucked with you in years. I don't even speak on that. Like, don't nobody know but us for real. Like,
Right.
Like, I don't be popping it on Mandy name, you know what I'm saying? She's not the first so-called celebrity I done crushed with or crushed on. Like, I just don't run my mouth about my business, you know what I'm saying? But no hard feelings, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna always have the love I got for Mandy, but, you know, sometimes, like, you just, I don't know, we just wasn't on the same mental plane, you know what I'm saying?
Are you guys in a good space now?
I mean, we in the same space we was in when I left, so we got to be in a good space because I don't have no bad blood for her. I don't got no bad blood for nobody, Mandy. It's always love. Like, if you ask me, it sounded like it cried like she wanted me to come back home or something. That's what it sounded like. Like she missed this motherfucker or something. You missed this little motherfucker, baby.
Is that something you would pursue? Would you spin the block?
Nah,
you good?
That's just always gonna be like my people. Like everything before a time and a place and a reason for the season sometime. Like, and that's what that was. Like, it was just a reminder, like, up or down, you still that nigga. Like, I always had a pretty bitch in the jump shot, like I said. So Mandy just came with like her tired of dealing with celebrities that probably been, you know, leaving her in limbo. And then me being on my downslide, fucking with all these nothing assholes, and then you finally get like a chick with some status and like, you know, some purpose and shit. So I'm thinking like maybe this the way I need to go and stop fucking with all these rap boys, stripper hoes, and these little
Mhm.
gutter bugs and shit. But that shit don't be no different, man. It's like if the drinks don't mix, it ain't, you know what I said, then don't fuck with it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's simple.
You say you've been afraid to give a chick your all because you've been betrayed. Is that kind of like why you're in that situation now?
I done been kidnapped, uh, fake setup, bitches done tried to like really put the play down on me. So like that's what I mean. I don't mean like heart wise, like
Mm.
cause what chicks do on their own time, that ain't what I judge them for. I judge them for how they carry themselves when they not around me and just not spitting in my face. Like that's what you gonna get the most respect out of me as a chick. But yeah, I can't give a chick my all cause I have been betrayed in like
Yeah.
the worst way.
All right.
You feel me?
Man, you've chronicled your come up though, man, like on Fish Grease, you know, that song like that. You said you spent most of your life living on the run in your 20s. Like, who kind of introduced you to the other side of the game?
Chuck English,
Chuck English.
Mikey Rocks,
Mm.
Rich Gaines. Everybody else in my life is like criminally attached.
Yeah.
Um,
Your cousin Huey.
yeah, long live Huey.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Long live CC. Like, um, yeah, everybody else criminally attached for the most part. Those are like was at that well, still to this day, like those are some of the most like positive on the straight up and down type of guys you can have due to the circumstances of them being from similar worlds and playing in this industry.
Mm. Yeah, he's talking about your family. A lot of them like knee deep in the streets, like your cousin Huey. You said like even one time your uncles were putting bricks in the baby stroller.
Man, I'm just one of the ones, bro.
Yeah.
Like long live my Uncle James, you know what I'm saying? I got some stories, man. Like you got enough time after this, we go have a drink and kick it, man.
Yeah. Is the what about Aunt Esther? Auntie Esther.
That's not her real name.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Her real name is Estelle.
Okay.
And we call her Esther from the Sanford and Son
Aunt Esther.
parody. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Cause that just was her nickname. That was one of my junkies growing up.
Got it.
And
Got
you
it.
know, like everybody called like the fiends like Unky or Auntie TT.
Yeah.
That's the nickname for the J. So every time I say Auntie or Unc, I'm not actually referring to it being my blood family,
Mm.
but be my street family.
Yeah. It was a really poignant line when you mentioned it, you said the first time you cried was having to serve her. And you said like the last time you cried tears is like at 15 years old. Like, was that from that whole moment?
No, I had lost one of my bros
Mm.
at 15.
Right.
And one of my big homies, you know, and it was just like who I got my name from.
Mm.
Like when I lost Boldy,
Bowling.
it just like it just did something to me, like, cause that really was my guy. And I don't got no blood brothers. He always treated me like a little brother. So
Mm.
when I lost him, that's kind of like how that felt. Like they really took something from me. So, you know,
Yeah.
like I really like was boiling crying about that. Like I didn't shed a couple tears, but I mean that shit like broke me down. That's what I mean. Like I
Got it.
couldn't control it.
Got it. But man, when it comes to this music, man, you definitely making that impact. And you started off as a DJ initially, though, right? Looping cassettes.
My name was DJ Mooch. I wasn't actually a DJ.
Okay.
I was making the beats for the guys that was rapping on my block. You know what I'm saying? But my beats really wasn't dope. You know what I'm saying? And then I always wanted to rap. I just didn't know the approach I was gonna take and how I was gonna go about it.
Mm.
But I started writing raps off my spelling words to learn the meaning and like make sure I wasn't failing my spelling test. So I used to write raps off my spelling words, and then that just went from me learning like unique formulas and like rhyme schemes and shit to just carve my own niche out with this and just be as unique in my own right as I can be. Like, now we here.
Right. And
Number one on your list.
there you go. And Cousin Hugh, he was the one that kind of put you on to a lot of new music, right?
Yeah, he was the one introduced me to like the EP, like it was the vinyls too.
Mm.
The EPMD vinyl. I think that was uh back in business, or they was
EPMD?
always in
Yeah,
business.
always in business.
They was always in business.
EPMD.
The Heavy D,
Heavy D and the
the
boys.
Slick Rick joint. So it's crazy like that we make all this money off these records now.
Mhm.
Cause I never thought that'd be something I ate off of.
Mm.
But that's something that I really grew up. Like my pops used to sit in the middle of the floor, cross his legs, and act like he was playing the drums, but it'd be a vinyl spinning, big ass Bose speakers, loud as fuck in the living room. And yeah, just being there. Like my dad loved music too, so that's kind of why I'm so musically inclined. Like, and then my grandma, she used to sing in a group called the Bondage Review.
Oh.
And my uncle name is Angelo Bond. He was signed to Motown back in the day.
Oh, wow.
He worked like he was around the Aretha Berry era, all that, you know. So, you know,
It's in the blood.
yeah, for sure.
Did you always have this unique voice?
No, I actually got a cleaner. I got a cleaner drawl on how I talk now, but when I was younger, I had a real bad slur. My pops used to like always make like Daffy Duck references and shit. And I ain't never had to go like to speech class, but a couple of my teachers had recommended it a couple times when I was younger. Cause when I would read, I ain't had no problem reading out loud or like comprehending. I mean, you know, like elaborating like on the words and
Yeah.
shit like that. Like I can definitely, you know what I'm saying, translate the shit I was reading.
Mm.
It just was like the way I used to say it, the teacher used to be looking at me like I damn near was reading it wrong, but it just was how I talked.
Mm. And you was part of a rap group at that time too, right?
Mm-hmm.
You was the golden child.
Yeah.
And I know that
it was the Golden Child. It was my nigga Glitz. It was a nigga named Glamour. It was a nigga called himself Grand Element or some shit. And then it was my nigga my nigga, he used to call himself Glorious.
Mm.
So all of us had a name with a G.
Ah.
But I was the golden child though, you feel me? So I used to think my name was dope, but then I heard Nas make a reference to that in the song, and he was one of my favorite artists growing up too.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to think that was dope. Like from me calling myself the golden child, him being labeled as the golden child in his
Right.
era, and then me working with him 20 years later from me dreaming all that was crazy.
But you had a lot of full circle moments too, because you won a talent show as the golden child over the JayZ Dead Presidents.
Yes.
And then you ended up actually meeting JayZ, you know, years later.
Yes.
You talked about that meeting, like meeting him at the Novo in
Mhm.
LA with Emery Jones and your man Black. Can you talk about that whole experience, how it happened?
So I go bump into my dude Black from my uncle Duke. We out in LA. So we go bump into Black because he live in LA. He got businesses and stuff in LA. So my uncle introduced me to Black and we go about our business. So, you know what I'm saying? I end up having a show at the Novo about a week later.
Okay.
And Jay, that's when Jay was kicking it with Conway. When Conway broke down.
Oh, okay.
I hadn't eaten that day. So me and my homeboy Chase Fetty, shout out my boy Chase.
Yeah.
I tell Chase after I get off performing, I'm like, bro, we need to go backstage. I damn near feel like I'm about to pass out. So we go to the dressing room, but we don't actually go in the dressing room. We're just standing out there in the hallway. And then I see Emery and Black come around the corner, and then I see Jay.
Mm.
So I'm looking at Black like, damn, why he look so familiar? So then when I see Emery, I know Emery face too, but
Yeah.
I sound kind of out of it, so it ain't dawning on me yet. And then I see Homie, I'm like, damn, I look like Homie. I'm like, damn, that is Homie.
Yeah.
And while I'm like trying to process what's going on, he walk up on me and he say, Mr. Boldy James.
Wow.
He say, man, you have an incredible pen. He say, your new shit, all I've been listening to.
Mm.
He dapped me up. And then he went and took a picture with Rock Marciano. So I'm looking at Chase like, bro, I know I told you I'm out of it, but am I tripping, bro? He like, nah, you not tripping. That really just happened.
Wow.
And only thing I could tell Hov when he said what he said to me was, that type of validation right there, that's all I do it for.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, cause he don't know, like, Reasonable Doubt. I stole that, long live my nigga Frankie, but I stole that CD out of Frankie's basement and hid it in the waistband of my underwear under my shirt and helped the nigga look for the CD. Feel me? Took it to my homeboy crib. Cause I was running away from home at the time. So
Yeah.
I took out my homeboy crib on the CD player and I listened to it. And I really like had to process that CD cause when I first heard Coming to Age,
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was the dopest shit in the world. And I actually was in like a Memphis Bleak type of position at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Like rolling for the big homie, trying to figure out, is this really love or is a nigga using me? Do I need to go in my move? I'm hearing niggas all this gossip about this, that, this, and the third, and it's making me not appreciate me having my seat at the table.
Mm.
I'm looking across the table at the big seat and it's making me want that one. See, but that's not why you were invited to the table.
Right.
You was invited to the table because, of course, they want you to eat and they want you to have your own smorgasbord one day. But that's all it is. Like, they establishing, you know, you in position to get your shit together.
Right.
Not for you to be sitting there trying to worry about what's on my plate.
Mm.
You know what
Makes
I mean?
sense.
So
Yeah.
while I was processing that song, it was like, damn, this like the dopest shit I ever heard in my life. Because it was more accurate with what was going on. Like, I mean, no offense, but like, I was explaining this to my man the other day. Jay gonna always be number one in a hustler's book. You know what I'm saying? If you was a real hustler, you really was in the street around that era where the golden era of music with the Nas, the Bigs, the Jays,
Mm-hmm.
the Scarfaces, the Snoops, the list goes on, you feel me? But if you from that era, Jay always gonna be your favorite because he narrated the hustle better than everybody else, right? If you really was in the street. But my guys was all into No Limit because they was rapping nothing but real street shit. It might not have been worded how neat a New Yorker or a Detroiter feel like a city boy supposed to present it, but in their own country little way, it still was like relative to niggas like us from my neighborhood. So every time I jump in the car with my guys or they get in the car with me, they putting No Limit, you know, Master P, even when the Cash Money shit, you know, when the shit shifted out of No Limit, Cash Money, they was burnt on that shit. But me, I always was a nigga that had to hear like the JayZ and the Escos and the AZs, and they just used to word that shit different, and I just felt the music a little, cause I'm not like a simple-minded nigga. I always deem myself as being like kind of more so intellectual, so when I hear the shit, it's like, they not dumbing down for their fans. They really trying to go there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They trying to take it there, you feel me? While other people make more so like records where they just trying to get their point across.
Mm.
You know, they not trying to get their point across and be super lyrical and like real like particular on how they go about wording it with the rhyme schemes and the breaks and, you know, the punches on the shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Right. Is that the reason why you listen to a lot of older music now? I read that that's mostly 90% of your listening experience these days. Like from
I'm
Tupac's.
just getting old. You know what I mean? So I guess that's what it is. Like, I think every man go through a phase where a lot of shit, you just don't want to hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's, you know.
Are you disenchanted with the music of today?
Nah, I listen. I'm telling you, like, it'll fuck you up some of the shit I listen to because I still can relate to it.
Mm.
Like, I like Bloodhound Q50. Wildest young nigga in the game, you know what I'm saying? But for some reason, I hear the nigga loud and clear.
Mm.
My son, he in love with Long Live Lil Jeff, but he in love with Bloodhound Lil Jeff music, and I used to take him to Chicago when he was little a lot. So, you know, that's my home away from home. So I was the first one like in Detroit up on the Dirks and the Chiefs and the Reeses,
Mm-hmm.
the Fredo Santanas and so forth, so on, you know what I mean? But like that had rubbed off on my son because me and Sis was listening to Dirk before he really got the flow all the way together to where like now he really the voice. Like that's all the youngest, that's all they want to hear. Like in my neighborhood, they still listen to all the music Dirk released before he got locked, like Free to Smirk. But like, you know, I listen to a lot of shit you wouldn't believe, like, and I really fuck with this shit, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, I just do what I get paid for. How I rap, it's cause that's the era I'm from. So I actually care to like take it there as far as like just I mean, other than like just trying to make a cool record for a
Right.
nigga to know I can rap. Like that ain't what I'm on.
Right. So as an independent artist, how do you navigate like that? Because how you didn't navigate the game? Because I remember you said like you never had a hit record or air spins, you never had a major deal, you never cared about a stream or Spotify. So as an artist that's operating independent, how do you measure success?
How do I measure success?
Yeah.
My parents proud of me. My kids happy. And I don't have the same hardships I had growing up. Like everything pretty much easy peasy in my world. I don't really have no problems because I always just been like an open-minded, like hustling type of nigga, you know what I'm saying? I'm not real closed-minded to a lot of shit, you know? And like I say, like, my pops proud of me, you know, so I must be doing something right because he wouldn't fake that. If I was on some bullshit, he definitely would let me know and call me on my shit. So
Right.
been proud of me for a long time because he seen how like no matter what I go through, I don't fret from raising my children or like the hardships that just come with my real responsibilities. I'm not running from that. So he ain't seen me never like make excuses or like get down on myself about my own bullshit, you know?
So you even asked this question on why are these fraud niggas on top and you so underrated then, Boldy?
That's just a question that I be asking myself. Nah, that's some real shit because it's a lot of cap stars out here that make great music and they on top of the rap game, and then there's a nigga like me really putting my truth and my pain into this shit, and I gotta take the pay cut just for being a real nigga. I won't put a dress on, I ain't willing to put no mascara on or paint my nails and sit there and dick suck this nigga and, you know, chase behind this nigga or sniff all under his buzz cause he got a bag or he in position. Like I never been no nigga like that, so, you know, I'ma always take the pay cut if that's what was gonna get me over the edge, you know what I'm saying? I don't want that bag. You know what I
BT
mean?
got the money anyway, man. They owe you 10, man. Anyway.
Hey man, that got inflation on it now, man. For real.
Or before we get out of here though, Boldy, I know that I need to know the update, you know, the long-awaited Drug Dilla album. You know, you said the last time I read that there was an email you've been locked out of for like 3 to 4 years, and the album is in that email.
No.
Can you explain?
I said I have the album in the email.
Okay.
But I'm locked out of it. And RJ Rice and RJ Jr., shout out to the fam, the Rice family, he is the one who can George Bush the button with the album. So he has it.
Okay. So someone has the album.
No, yes. The album is not lost. It's just I don't have it in my possession at the time.
Got it.
So, you know, I couldn't let you hear nothing. I couldn't leak nothing. I can't do nothing with it. The person who has it in his possession, I don't even feel like I don't even want to ask him to send me it to hear it or nothing. I'm just waiting on him to tell me when it's green light and it's gonna be Black Woodstock. You know that.
So will it see the light of day at some point?
Yes, it's gonna have to. Like, why would you just sit there and let that sit dormant like that? Like you gotta put that out. You can't have something that great and never put it out. That's like the Detox album.
Detox, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like a unicorn at this point.
But you know it exists.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you ever meet J Dilla?
No, but me and Mama Yancey like this.
Oh, okay.
I love my Mama Yancey. I met a whole lot of the slum villagers. No, I just ain't met Big Brody though. No, I ain't get a chance to meet Jay before he passed.
Okay. And lastly, Boldy, you have this segment on this show where we call Rap Opinions. You know, RAPinion. I need to know your rap opinion. It could be on anything. Good or bad, favorable, unfavorable. Just a rap opinion.
About the game now?
Anything.
A rap opinion.
Whether it's about an album, a song.
I feel like the young dudes got the same passion we got for the game. I just think I just feel like it's just a different era where they doing everything to be unique in their own right. Like they rap off beat, they barely rhyme, they make funny voices when they rap, or they just get in full blown drug addict character mode.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of them mumble rapping, it's a whole lot of slur. You know, but I understand all of it, and in my opinion, it's like it's just for shifting the culture and pushing it forward. Like I'm loving all of it as long as the youngins got something to do other than, you know, like I say, add to the problem. I'm with it.
You with
You know
it?
what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm with it.
On the way over here, I was thinking about it because I know you listen to a lot of Tupac, and I was thinking about what's the best Tupac album because I volley between a couple, and I
only listen to the shit that it might have came out later on the album, but I listen to all the like a lot of unreleased Pac, like Mama Raised the Hellraiser and 96 Big Body Sitting on Chrome. You know, I got an old school Impala. So I got a 96 Impala, so I like to hear that song over the sounds. So like, riding my old school, listen to Big Psych and Pac, 96 Big Body Sitting on Chrome. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just
okay.
yeah.
I was thinking, I think I'm gonna go Me Against the World. I used to be a Machiavelli guy, but I think Me Against the World might be the best Tupac album.
My favorite Tupac album in all respect is him and the Outlaws.
Really? I never was an Outlaws guy.
It's not about the Outlaws. It just was like, it was something about them that just was dope to me. Tupac and the Outlaws, all that made nigga shit, like all that shit was dope to me.
Okay.
I like the Pac that wasn't like so commercial, or like the shit that wasn't dressed up and packaged up so perfectly. I like the shit that was like that they left off the album.
Okay.
You feel me?
Cutting room floor type stuff.
Yeah, that was my favorite Pac. When he just, it won't even be a hook on the song, damn near, or like, if it is, you know what I'm saying? It's just some simple shit, and then it's him getting right back on the track, just popping this shit. Like,
Word.
yeah.
There we have it. All right, well, Boldy James, thank you for coming through, man. Late to my own funeral, July 11th. You, Nicholas Craven. Looking forward to it, man.
What else?
What else? What else? That's it. There we go.